Hey there, Tom. Tom's Tech Show. Today we're talking about security and what we can learn from the big Fortune 500 companies. Okay, today we're going to go over something that I have to deal with from time to time. Um, my regular job, we deal with a lot of Fortune 500s, and they have a document that they will send over to us called a SIG. And this it's called Standardized Information Gathering document. And what this does is just details thousands and thousands of cells in an Excel spreadsheet. What things they want to know, things that we've done to maintain business, maintain security. How do users, how do we bring new users in? How we have new users or users leave when they're terminated or they go to another company. They want to know these kind of procedures to make sure that passwords are safe, data is safe, our business isn't gonna, fold at any moment's notice because, there was a big virus. Then we didn't have virus, protection on any of our systems. They want to know all these things because if me as a business and trying to keep my business safe, if I'm doing partnerships with other companies, I want to know they're doing the same, at least the same level of security that I am. So here's the SIG. There's a whole website about it. These spreadsheets start at $7,000. So we know they're for big companies. There's a lot of stuff built into them, but it just kind of gives you some basic, questions that you can go through. Okay, so as a small business, we can kind of take some of these, and so if I expand our system backups of scope systems, which are of your data, your systems and data, is that performed? So I click yes, then it's going to open up. Okay, so now it's going to ask me a few more questions. So this is how the SIG kind of works. So if one of these things is true, then they want to know, okay, well, what is it? Is there a policy? Do you store the backups from any kind of disasters or a remote site? Do you test them? All these different things about the backup. And from backups is one of the things that we definitely can learn from big companies. And that has gotten to be pretty inexpensive for smaller companies to maintain a daily backup that's offsite and running. You can get on any of these online programs that do backups of your computers. Just buy, if you have multiple computers, you can buy like a family pack, and put it on all of your computers in a small office, right? So, and some of the other things in here, are your firewalls. Do you have firewalls, and what this opens up? Is everybody accessing the internet through a firewall? Okay, so most people that have a little home router, that's kind of a firewall. You can go in and check and make sure, like the maximum settings are in on that for a small business kind of thing. So there are some things that definitely we can learn. Okay. Now, one place that I also go and what they're kind of asking for in the SIG are information about your policies. So small businesses can have policies, and it's really a good idea to have policies. So this organization, SANS, which stands for Sysadmin Audit Network and Security. So this has some starter policies that you can use for your network. And it's always good to have these policies when you bring in new users, maybe have a meeting, get these policies in place, have a meeting and say, okay, let's go over these policies. We're trying to keep the business safe. We're trying to keep you safe. We're trying to keep, if the business runs into problems because, somebody left their computer on and unlocked and somebody came in and, oh, look, and then starts transferring money out of the company, well, that's going to be a problem. And there's some policies that we can use in order to tell everybody, okay, do this when you leave, your desk, do this, when you're in the office, and that'll help keep us safe. And then, if it's not hypercritical, have a policy jar where if somebody breaks a policy, then they got to put $1 in the jar, and then at the end of the month, if nobody's put any money in there, then then the company pays the rest for lunch or something like that. Do some kind of incentive kind of thing. But so if you go to resources, and then there's another tab called security policies. Here are a bunch of policies here. There's application security, server security, network security, and just general security. Like I like kind of going to this clean desk policy. I was at a doctor's office a few months ago, and looking right through the window, there was a piece of paper that was there that had, this is the website, this is the username, this is the password. It had like 10 of them right there on the desk. It's like, okay, so I can snap a picture of that with my phone now and go home and start looking up everybody in the world's, health records. That's, there needs to be policy, right, to stop that from happening, right? So that's where we have a clean desk policy that we can put in place and say, this is our clean desk policy. And it has just some basic things. I mean, they give it an overview, why you want to do it, kind of, and then a scope. And then you can actually take these and just replace, they actually allow you. So what these are for, these templates, just switch the company name here, pointer with, your own company name, and review it and say, okay, this sounds like a good policy. This things like employees are required to keep sensitive and confidential information from their work area put away at the end of the day. Seems like a good idea. So nobody can look in the windows, nobody can look over the counters and see anything. Computers are locked when you leave. You go to lunch, Windows L, boom, your computer's locked. Then nobody can get in there. Or the next person can come in and log themselves in, right? Keep file cabinets closed and locked when, no one's around or you're not going to be using them. Just some simple different things like that. Treat mass storage device as sensitive. So if you have, CDs or you get information on USB drives, make sure if you're not using them, put them in a drawer and keep it locked. Some simple little policies like that. That's going to help protect your business and protect you. There's also policies, about backup. Do the backup every day. Restore a file once a month so that something is still valid. I mean, I always tell people your backup is only as good as the last time you restored one of your files. Because I've had many people say, well, I was backing up to this USB drive, but the USB drive, had failed, and they didn't know that it wasn't actually backing up anymore. Or they do the thing where, well, I take the USB drive home once a month. Well, if it's only off-site for one weekend once a month, it's not really an off-site backup. So just get one of the online, backups and just do that, and then your data is all backed up. But that all relates back to, policy. And those policies are driven from these SIG documents. And I'm going to kind of go over some more things in some other videos, but mostly, it's find some policies, and you can go over all these different policies at SANS and just take them, kind of read them over and understand, okay, what, I don't know if you might not need a pandemic policy, but you'll definitely need a password policy and, some, a data breach policy. I mean, if you see somebody and they somehow get, malware or something on their computer, we need to know how to handle that and what to do, unplug it from the network, do different things, as a small business. So, but the SIG teaches us a lot of things. I mean, it's what the big companies use, but as small companies, we can use some of that, right, using those tools to come through here and find, okay, let's get all of our policies in place so that when there are problems, and even so, if you have an employee that is constantly not following policy, these also give you extra ammunition to say you haven't been following policy, and then we can write you up, and then you can then more easily terminate that employee. Not that you really want to. I hate saying terminate employee, but this also gives you ammunition, and it makes things clear for employees. So I'll put a link to SANS in this video, And then you can go there, kind of go through all the policies. And these are what, big people use. These are what big companies use to kind of handle this stuff, is all these policies. Like I said, I don't think you need, if you're a small business, I don't know if you need a pandemic response policy, right? But an acceptable use policy, what can you and can't you do on a computer? Can your employees sit there and stream music or do their bills or, go upload their photos or, things like that? Or can they just do business work while at work on the hardware that the business person has, purchased for them? So that's an acceptable use. So, and letting your employees know this is extremely beneficial. So I'll put a link to SANS and in this video. And if you have any questions or anything else, any other section that you want clarification on what kind of policy, what kind of things a small business might need, just comment down below and I'll respond to all those comments and we'll start that conversation. All right. Well, thanks for watching this video. I do videos like this about computers, about maybe movies, TV things that I like, maybe photography things that I like, a couple of times a week. And I post them right here on YouTube. So if you subscribe to my channel, then you'll just get them all when I make them and post them. If you like this video, this helps you, then click the thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and click the thumbs down. I'm fine with that as well. All right. Well, thanks for watching and take care.